This past week on Raw has cemented for me why Becky Lynch is one of the top heels just right now, period. We just had a crazy segment between Becky Lynch, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. The fallout of Clash of Paris' fatal four-way for the World Heavyweight title resulted in Becky kind of becoming a new member, or just kind of, I guess, introducing herself into the fold, into the vision. There was no kind of better way and no better introduction than to draw heat, with everyone thinking that everyone else was out of the building who was part of the faction or was hurt, so who else could show up, right? But Seth Rollins' wife, Becky Lynch. The follow-up kind of promo on Raw kind of had CM Punk kind of biding his time and just ready to get at Seth Rollins, waiting at the gate, and kind of the theme of the whole night with him and Rollins was that Punk was just trying to find this man, and Seth said he was going to be at the building, or be in the building. So CM Punk comes out to the ring kind of in typical Punk fashion, right? Stages a protest until Seth Rollins comes out to address him in the ring, and they throw hands or something. Now we have Becky Lynch come out to Seth Rollins' music, right? And this is where I'm rubbing my hands together, you know what I mean? I'm super excited because I like I've been saying, I think Becky's been going on a tear right now with Lyra. So now to get to see her kind of interact with CM Punk in this setting is extremely refreshing, and I didn't know how good it would get. So she comes into the ring and essentially starts to kind of run down Punk. Punk doesn't want to really hear any of it because he kind of sees where this is going. He doesn't want Seth hiding behind his wife and poking at the bear, essentially. Becky Lynch, being one of the greatest heels of all time in my opinion right now, is great at poking the bear, you know what I mean, and is talking about how CM Punk's name being chanted all these years was an indicator of apathy, and that she saw the vision in not letting Punk get really any more opportunities and coming back with open arms just as much as Seth did. Obviously Seth has kind of indoctrinated Becky into the vision and the character that she is and the character that Seth is. It's like a perfect match. This is like a true, I think, power couple, almost similar to like the Dom Rhea thing, where this is like something where both characters get viable avenues and stories, and where they go moving forward is actually a lot bigger now that this is all happening. Becky kind of goads CM Punk into wanting to call out Seth. Becky is such a good antagonistic heel, extremely smarmy, kind of extremely condescending to Punk. Both of them respecting each other's kind of prestige and what they've done, but also kind of teasing and sparring with each other in these great verbal jabs between each other that makes me want to see a program between, I know everyone wants AJ Lee to come back and be the equilibrium, but I would, I feel like when they do the intergender stuff, man, there's really crazy potential for like full-on programs between like the men and the women. I get that feeling with Becky. Like, she seems to be kind of even more unleashed when going at Punk as well, so it did feel really refreshing, and it just was really awesome to see her not only hold her own but kind of stall and outclass Punk in the promo, playing the heel better than I think Seth has so far in this situation, because Becky has been able to play the hate off extremely well in terms of the justification for why she doesn't like Punk, but at the same time the smarminess and the heelish attitude and the condescending attitude she has towards Punk is still extremely heelish, and what we still don't like. So it makes you root for Punk, right? And Punk can't really seem to get a real proper measure of revenge, which is why we mentioned AJ Lee. Now, AJ Lee is rumored to be actually signed. I'm not going to really report and talk about that too much because I feel like that just kind of ruins the element of surprise now. I think, especially in covering the Seth Rollins injury angle and the Naomi stuff, I don't really think there's now really a point to just kind of parrot popular stuff that's going to happen. I'd rather just analyze how they roll with the punches and be a fan in that regard. Just beyond that regard of AJ Lee kind of coming back and maybe doing a cool mixed tag match, which would be awesome. I do think that Becky Lynch's promo on CM Punk kind of raises bigger questions in the possible storytelling that could be done between the men and the women that I think even Rhea Ripley's kind of run did question as well. And I think that there's like real big money in some of that stuff if they really try to explore it, you know what I mean, in a proper way, and are able to book it in a fun and interesting way that, you know, but it would garner attention. The segment just between Becky, Seth, and Punk just completely illustrated not only the hate Seth and Becky have for CM Punk and the ties that they all kind of have to each other, but the level that Seth and Becky are at now as heels, and how good they are, you know, at really just like, you know, even with not a lot to be given, they are drawing out the heat, you know what I mean, and they're making this just as real as someone like a CM Punk does, you know, that he gives his all, you know. So it's like, it's made this feud feel kind of run of the mill for a little bit, now feel really personal and heated again, just like it was kind of out of the gate, you know, when CM Punk returned. To be honest, like Becky, Seth, Punk, you know, and to a lesser extent Lyra, and a lot of the other acts of Raw have been putting really the show on their back with their own performances and standing out with their promos and really relishing in their characters, you know. Lyra even this week on Raw kind of continue that Becky Stomper kind of vibe, that awkward cutie vibe that is more at least in some sort of character. And I think the whole idea that kind of Becky broke her out of her shell is more apparent, and it's pretty awesome. Beyond all of that, the segment, right, with Punk, Seth, and Becky was awesome. Probably gonna get an AJ Lee return out of this, which is super cool, even if it's just a one-off match at WrestlePalooza or wherever the hell they're gonna do it. It's awesome to just see kind of the Becky also like kind of get rewarded for the work she's been doing in the middle of the card, in the segment she's been getting, because god damn, like she could just sit there on the mic for a while and like really tie everything together. Man, those slaps that Becky was giving him, like Jesus, it just everything about the segment felt raw, no pun intended, and just it just builds anticipation for, you know, what would be like the biggest blood feud, which is Seth and CM Punk right now. These two's hatred has circled around kind of the whole roster, right, and has made everyone else kind of even, you know, mad at each other, right? So I kind of hope that this whole thing constantly, this whirlwind kind of grows and grows. You know, you have LA Knight and Jey Uso even, you know, blowing, you know, coming to heads with each other, which I think is a great kind of face on face like feud that maybe doesn't even see a winner because of said faction, so that we protect both guys, but they have something to do for a little bit, you know, if they're sidelined for like the world title or something. I think the power couple of Becky and Seth maybe every week would actually be awesome, because now we can involve Lyra and Bayley and have more blitz finishes that actually involve more of the women's stories, and, you know, puts a light on the IC title and stuff like that. Give me Becky Lynch and CM Punk. I'm here for that. I eat that up. Like I would genuinely, like, you know, pay the PLE premium to see that, you know what I mean? Give me Evolution 2, CM Punk, you know, and Becky Lynch, because that was one of the best kind of back and forths we had in a minute. Even the way Punk was selling like his seething rage at Becky Lynch was just so good. Like, just everything about that segment made everything feel real and made me look forward to what type of things Becky, Seth, and Co will do next. So let me know what you guys kind of think about the whole thing, about the Becky Lynch and CM Punk Seth Rollins promo. I thought one of the best promos in a minute. You know, I actually think right now WWE in 2025 has actually been really good. It hasn't been at the peak of 2023 into 2024, but they've done really well in the trials and Triple H's of the TKO era, you know. So let me know what you guys kind of think about everything, and I'll see you guys in the next video.